Hi guys, I'm Lerberdwin El Tolentino, and in this video, we will explore the different kinds of quadrilaterals and their properties.
Hi guys, I'm Angelique Gamson and we will tackle the properties of a kite.
Hi guys, I'm Mark Samuel N. Bulao and we will teach you how to solve involving kites. Objectives. At the end of this session, the learners shall have 1. Identify different types of quadrilaterals. 2. Identify all the properties of a kite. 3. Differentiate kite to other types of quadrilaterals. 4. Solve problems involving kites.
When you were grade 5, you studied the 4 basic quadrilaterals. First, the square, the rectangle, the parallelogram, and the rhombus. Quadrilateral means 4 sides. Quad means 4, lateral means side.
What is the property of a quadrilateral? A quadrilateral has 4 sides, 4 vertices, and an interior angle that add to 360 degrees. Try to draw a quadrilateral and measure the angles. It should add to 360 degrees. After you drew it, it should look like this.
68 degrees plus 118 degrees plus 94 degrees plus 80 degrees is equals to 360 degrees. 4 multiplied to 90 degrees is also equals to 360 degrees.
There are different types of quadrilaterals. These are the square, rectangle, parallelogram, rhombus,
Trapezoid, and kite.
A rectangle is a 4-sided shape where every angle is a right angle or 90 degrees. Also, opposite sides are parallel and of equal length. A square has equal sides, marked S, and every angle is a right angle or 90 degrees. Also, opposite sides are parallel. A square also fits the definition of a rectangle because all angles are 90 degrees. Also, a rhombus because all sides are equal length.
The next quadrilateral is the rhombus. When we say rhombus, rhombus is a 4-sided shape where all sides have equal length. Also, opposite sides are parallel and opposite angles are equal. The next quadrilateral is the parallelogram. When we say parallelogram, a parallelogram has opposite sides parallel and equal in length. Also, opposite angles are equal.
The next quadrilateral is trapezoid. When we say trapezoid, 2 lines parallel. When we say parallel, it means lines that do not meet, or in other words, lines in a plane that do not intersect at any point are called to be parallel.
A trapezoid, called a trapezium in the UK, has a pair of opposite sides parallel, and a trapezium is a quadrilateral with no parallel sides. An isosceles trapezoid, as shown above, has left and right equal length that join to the base and equal angles.
The next quadrilateral is kite. When we say kite, kite means adjacent pairs of equal side. When we say adjacent, adjacent means 2 lines that have common side and common vertex is called adjacent. Example, angle ABC is adjacent to angle CBD.
Now you know the different types of quadrilaterals.
So that's the end of our lesson. Now let's proceed to the next lesson, which is kites.
In our previous lesson, we studied about the different kinds of quadrilaterals: the square, the rectangle, the rhombus, the parallelogram, the trapezoid, and the kite. And now, for our topic today is all about kites.
Before we proceed to our main topic, which is all about kites, let's talk first about the definition of kites in geometry. You probably know that kite is that wonderful toy that flies aloft the wind, tethered to you by a string. The toy kite is based on the geometric shape, the kite.
A kite is a quadrilateral shape with two pairs of adjacent congruent sides. That means that a kite is all of this: a plane figure, a closed shape, a polygon.
The kite sides, angles, and diagonals all have identifying properties. Sides have two pairs of congruent sides. Angles, the interior angles of an equal length sides will always be equal. Diagonals, the diagonals intersect at 90 degrees. One of the diagonals bisect the other diagonal.
Kite sides. To be a kite, a quadrilateral must have two pairs of sides that are equal to one another and touching. This makes two pairs of adjacent congruent sides. You could have one pair of congruent adjacent sides but not have a kite. The two other sides could be of unequal lengths. Then you would only have a quadrilateral.
Kite angles, where two unequal length sides meet in a kite. The interior angle they create will always be equal to its opposite angle. Look at the kite you drew.
Kite diagonals. The two diagonals of our kite, KT and IE, intersect at a right angle. In every kite, the diagonals intersect at 90 degrees. Sometimes, one of those diagonals could be outside the shape. Then, you have a dart. That does not matter. The intersection of diagonals of a kite is always a right angle.
A second identifying property of the diagonals of kites is that one of the diagonals bisects or halves the other diagonal. They could both bisect each other, making a square, or only the longer one could bisect the shorter one.
Lesson summary. For what seems to be a really simple shape, a kite has a lot of interesting features. Using the video and this written lesson, we have learned that a kite is a quadrilateral shape with two pairs of adjacent congruent sides.
Kites can be rhombus, darts, or square. We also know that the angles created by unequal length sides are always congruent.
Finally, we know that the kite's diagonals always cross at the right angle and the other one always bisects the other.
We already finished the different kinds of quadrilaterals in lesson 1 and the properties of a kite in lesson 2. Now let's go deep and study solving problems involving kites.
Example number 1. Investigate the diagonals of a kite. How are the diagonals of a kite related? A kite has two pairs of congruent adjacent sides. Point B is equidistant from the endpoints of line AC, as is D, so they lie on the perpendicular bisector of line AC.
Question 1a. Investigate the diagonals of a kite. What is the measure of angle AXB? The measure of angle AXB is 90 degrees.
Question 1b. Investigate the diagonals of a kite. If AX is equals to 3.8, what is AC? So you're going to do is 3.8 multiplied by 2 is equal to 7.6, and we're gonna mark that as units. So it's going to be 7.6 units.
Question 1C. Still investigate the diagonals of a kite. If BD is equals to 10, does BX equals to 5? Well, the answer is yes.
Example 2. Use the diagonals of a kite. Quadrilateral PQRS is a kite with diagonals line QS and line PR. A. What is the measure of angle 1? The diagonals of a kite are perpendicular, so the measure of angle 1 is 90 degrees.
The measure of angle 2. The sum of angles of triangle PQT is 180. So you can find the measure of angle 2 by adding 35 plus 90 is equals to 180. So you're going to replace the angle 2 with 55, and 55 plus 35 plus 90 is equals to 180. So it means the measure of angle 2 is 55.
C. What is M angle 3? Since triangle PQR is an isosceles triangle, M angle 3 is congruent to M angle QPT. So M angle 3 is equals to 35.
So that's the end of our lessons.
Always remember, ligtas ang may alam. Paalam!
I hope you all learned something from us.